What's up, everybody? It's Tronzilla here again. Today we're going to be talking about what my plans will be with the 315 patch coming out. It's going to be wiping our character. After making our first 150,000 or so, we're going to go into what ships I'll be buying, what path I'm going to take to progress in Star Citizen after the wipe. This will kind of go over two ships primarily, the two that I use most frequently. They're basically my daily drivers right now in the 314 patch, so I assume they're going to do quite well at the 315 patch. So let's take a peek at what our plans are here today and hope you enjoy. So to start, once you get your, like I said, about 150k, you're gonna want that available just so you can we're gonna need to rent a couple of ships to start. So I started with the Avenger, did some delivery missions, got myself to a point with 314, 315. I'm gonna probably do the same thing. So what I did is I come over here to the one of the refineries, and you can rent the Prospector. We've gone over this in previous videos. This is relatively decent mining ship. It's a light mining ship that allows you to go out and get Quantanium. It's decent as far as storage goes. I make great money using this ship. It's 52k approximately to rent for the day. Once you have it, highly recommend choosing a time frame that's going to work best for you, because since you are renting this ship, you're going to want some time to actually be able to grind with it to earn that money back and make some profits with it. One of the other ships that we'll be talking about today is what we're going to so the ship that we're going to use to actually transfer the refined goods, because as we know, if you watch the other videos, you have to actually move those goods once they're been processed. Here we're going to be looking at the Cutlass Black. It's a rather, it's considered a medium fighter, medium uh, cargo ship. This is, holds true. It's a very versatile ship. It handles decently well in combat. I've gone as far as doing HRTs, which we'll get a little more into bounty hunting here with it in a little bit. That's one of the other ways we'll be making money other than mining. But this is all around a good ship. One of the top two ships I'd be purchasing. Both the Prospector and the Cutlass Black will be the two first ships I go after getting my simple missions done with my starter. Reason being is just because it opens up many doors to you. One, you can earn a lot of money mining. So here's a quick clip of it's actually from one of the previous videos where we'll go through and do some mining with the Prospector. Basically, like I said, you're gonna want to do, if you're gonna rent this ship, you're gonna want to make sure you have time to grind with it. Obviously, we're going to be going after Quantanium to make this as profitable as possible. We're going to want to get at least 10 to 12 good loads in. That might take you a couple of days. I'd recommend at least getting 6 in per day if you're going to rent the ship, because roughly, and we'll go over the details here in a little bit as well, you're going to make, like, on a perfect Quantanium run, you can make upwards of $250,000. Really, you're going to want to look at, averaging 10 units, which will be 90 to 100,000 just in Quantanium. And if you're picking up other stuff, try to get stuff that ends like in ites, so like Hephaestonite, tannerite, lannerite, if I'm saying all these correctly. That basically is going to give you the best payout. But focused on trying to get Quantanium. Typically, I try to come home with at least 10 to 12 units of Quantanium each load of the 32 that the Prospector will hold. Once you get those back, you're going to bring those up to the refinery. Basically, at the refinery, you have several options of different types that you can do with this exchange. I always go with the Ferron exchange. It's a low speed, moderate cost, high yield. So it just seems best for me. And since I'm just stacking up work orders, I don't necessarily care how fast they're getting done. That will take about 14 days. Now, moving over to the Cutty Black. So this is where, after you've processed 10 to 12 loads, like I said, go ahead and try to rent the Cutlass Black. It's about 36,000, I believe, or 36,000. Again, you're going to want to make sure you have a clear day. So maybe, either the next day or a couple days later, make sure you have a full time to work with this ship. Reason why we'll be pulling the Cutlass Black out is that we need to transfer the refined materials back to, one of the major planetary systems or planets to make our profits from it, because right now it's just in refined state. We haven't sold anything. So now the Cutlass Black has the ability in this little cargo hold here to hold up to 46 units. That's more than, it's a little bit more than what the Prospector can hold in total. So typically you can only hold, one Prospector load if you had, if you did some good mining and you have all the materials. But once in a while you can squeak into, if there was a load that you did that had quite a bit of inert material in it before you came back, or you didn't fully fill up, you might be able to squeeze two into one of these. But in general, you're going to usually get, just one. It's 1-to-1. So if you have 10 full loads from the Prospector, you're going to be doing 10 trips to the city with this. So it is a bit monotonous work, but each one of them pays out quite well. In this case, I've been going to Area 18 to do my trading. It's been working out for me quite well. It's close to the ARCL1, and if you watched any of my other videos, I like to mine out of Lyria. Just been a great planet for me. I don't necessarily like the space mining with the Prospector. But basically, once you get this far, you're going to be getting over to the trade center just to give you an idea of what Quantanium can do. And this is why I say, try to focus on getting primarily Quantanium, is to get the most profit out of it as possible, of your time as possible, basically. With that, you're gonna, when you come up to the trading console, you'll see that there's for each load, you can, like I said, you can move 46 units. Like I believe 30 units or 31 units of this particular load that we're working on was Quantanium. So this is a optimal situation for me. That's not what you're going to commonly be running into. You can expect each one of these to roughly give you a 100k each if you're getting Quantanium in every load. And again, like I said, if you try to hit that 10 to 12 units of Quantanium for each load. Now these consoles are a bit glitchy, so sometimes you have to wait. I've panicked before waiting for that, thinking it didn't store my ship. But once you highlight that, as you can see here, 262,000 on that load there, and it was 31 units, or 30 units total, 1 unit of quartz, 30 units of Quantanium. So at 262,000, that's quite the deal. Now, so here's the question, what ship do you buy first? Do you buy the Prospector? Do you buy the Cutlass Black? I will definitely be going with the Prospector first. It is like 3.5 million or something like that in game to purchase. Just going to be the ship that makes me the most money, biggest bang for the buck type of deal. Other option is the Cutlass Black. If you're a person that's more into doing bounties or something a little more engaging, because mining does get boring, so bounties is what I do other than mining. Can make great money, but you have to actually grind out to a certain point to be able to do like HRTs and VHRTs. The HRTs and VHRTs, I believe HRTs you can easily do with the Cutlass Black, and as you can see, a single gives you $11,000, and if you do the group bounty, it's $39,000. You can also do VHRTs. I'd recommend having a gunner with you if you're going to try to do a VHRT, just because you're getting into some heavier ships and you don't want to have to be repairing or risk blowing up your ship, especially after inventory becomes persistent. But as you can see, they pay out quite well. Also, once you get those unlocked, you do have to go through and grind those out in order to do some of these. I believe it's the Bounty Hunter Guild. You can go through and you can crush that out in the Crusader District relatively quick as well. But as you can see here, the Cutlass Black proves itself even as a solo without playing with power or doing any sort of power management whatsoever. All I did was I got the Cutlass Black. I put 4 attrition size 3s on it from the gimbaled size 2s. And then with that, I just mowed through HRTs. I could do roughly 4 to 5 an hour if I don't have to land, which typically I can do 2 without having to go and repair before I feel, like the hull's getting a little damaged. Now, with that being said, like I said, again, it proves itself over and over again. I'm taking out Hurricanes, taking out Wardens, I'm taking out Valkyries, no problem, just as myself. That's why I say if you're going to do the VHRTs, it is possible. I haven't actually tried it, but I would recommend taking a turret gunner with you, though, just because you're going to be getting into some of those ships where those shields are going to be hard to break alone, not counting blowing the ship up. So you're going to want constant fire on it, and that second gunner is going to help you out a lot, especially in some of these rotations, because it is not the best handling fighter out there. It's just got a comparable payload with it. Like I got quite 16 rockets to send out, and I have just a decent shot with the attrition. So it comes with 42 rounds. It gives you a decent, it's enough to break an HRT shield every time, and then peel into the hole, do a flip around as it charges. Maybe if you can get a rocket shot in there and coming in on entry, as I do here. It's commonly what I'll do when I'm on the approach. I'll lock on with missiles, shoot missiles, switch over to firearms, shoot primary and secondary weapons. There's 2 slots with the cutlass, or typically it binds it to 2 slots. So primary and secondary, I just shoot them both at once. And it just, like I said, it mows through these guys. It has no trouble whatsoever doing the HRTs. Just, it's efficient. So that's where the efficiency comes in. Because you got to think about, like, you don't want to have to be constantly stopping to refuel, repair your ship, because it's going to cost money each time, just losing from the profit. But if you can get in there, do a couple at a rip with the HRTs and the Cutlass Black, you can guarantee to make almost, 150 to 200,000 an hour. So that's quite profitable itself. It's not quite as profitable as mining, but mining you have the risk of losing that payload altogether. So you could blow up because Quantanium's volatile. Say there's problems, and we know Star Citizen has trouble from time to time, just landings, everything. Say there's trouble, you could lose that entire load, which it could be upwards of a half an hour of work lost. You can 30K on transfer, so like when you're transmitting goods with the Cutlass back over there, you could lose that, where you don't have necessarily the same worries with the like bounty hunting aspect of this game. You can kind of go out there. You do have the aspect that you're going to get blown up potentially. You're under constant fire, but again, doing the HRTs, it's very efficient with the Cutlass Black. It's got enough firepower to deal with the targets, as well as comparable shields to deal with anything that they're going to be shooting at you. You don't want to just sit out in front of a Hurricane or a Warden, but you can deal with what they're throwing at you, no doubt. Even if they land a couple of rockets here or there, like you didn't get chaff out in time, or you ran out of chaff, like it's just it's not going to be a problem typically, as long as you're paying attention to where your shields are at. If you're in combat and your shields are down, you're starting to take some hits, you burn out of there quick, and then come until the shield regenerates a little bit and return. Like you're gonna do just fine. Like as you can see here, I'm dancing around this Warden. Like he can't even get his nose out. Granted, it's an NPC, so not quite as good as somebody else combating or piloting the ship. But when you think about a Cutlass Black just mopping up Warden like that, you can feel confident that you're going to do just fine working with the HRTs. But again, it comes down to the 2 ships. The first one I'd buy would be the Prospector. Second will be the Cutlass Black. After that, I'll use those 2 ships basically to make all the money to buy anything else that I wish to progress into. I'll probably lean towards something more along the lines of transport goods and stuff, or something along those lines. But other than that, catch us on the next video. Hope this helps somebody out there, and if you could, like, subscribe, comment, the deal. Later.